Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Nils Jensen at Idaho Pulse, and today I wanted to do a video talking about my 1-year anniversary of living in the Treasure Valley after moving from Southern California and making the trek out here, buying a house, and kind of experiencing what it's like to be an Idahoan for an entire year. So we moved out here in the beginning of September, and so now it's the beginning of October, and we've had time to get settled in. We've met people. The kids are settled in school now. They're in their second year of school here at Idaho, and kind of go over some of the things that maybe we really liked about living here and things that we found a pleasant surprise, or maybe things that we were expecting and turned out to be as good as we were hoping. So we're also going to do another video of the 10 things that I don't really like about living here, or things that I liked better in California. That's a different video. Check that out if you'd like. So if you're interested in knowing more about Idaho, and maybe we didn't cover everything that you wanted to know or everything you wanted to hear, we have a website called idahopulse.com. We can help you with real estate questions. We can help you find a house if you want, sell a house if you're already here. If you don't need any of those things and you just have any questions, I'm happy to help also. So you can go ahead and email us directly through the website. You can give us a call or a text through the phone number that's listed on the website, or you can just leave us a comment through the video, and we're happy to give you some time and answer some questions that maybe we didn't get all the way to on the video. So a little bit about myself. So I owned a business for 10 years in Southern California. I owned a successful motorcycle dealership and service center, and it was going great. I was actually getting ready to expand the business in 2019, had re-signed my lease, expanded it so that I could blow it out and make it bigger, started hiring more people. And then COVID hit, and decided, you know what, I don't want to invest any more of my time and money and effort into California. Pulled everything back, got rid of the business, and moved out to Idaho. And so now I'm gotten real estate, which is something that I've always been passionate about anyways, and kind of going in that direction. I have a lot of experience in business, negotiating, dealing with vendors, dealing with people in general, customer service. So this was a really good fit for me, I think, in general. Not to mention I just have a lot of business experience. So if you have any questions, I'm happy to help. We have a lot of information on our website, on our social media, on YouTube. We have some tour videos if you want to check those out, where we tour around each city and kind of talk about it and show the streets, show the neighborhoods, show the residential areas, new and old and such, and kind of give our point of view of each area and let you know, hey, this is this kind of area, this is that, this is more of an older established neighborhood, this is newer, and kind of show you where they lie in the city and what the downtown area looks like, the banks, the stores, whether there's a Costco, that kind of stuff. So if you want to check those out, those are on our YouTube page as well. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. I'm happy to help. IdahoPulse.com is our website, and again, you can contact us through there. So let's get into it. Let's get into the top 10 things that I really enjoy or like about living in Idaho, and hopefully this helps you out and helps you go in the right direction and feel more comfortable in your decision to check out Idaho as a place to live. So let's get into it. Okay, so getting into the top 10 things that I really like about living in Idaho. So the number one thing that I had on my list, and this is not in any kind of order other than just me arbitrarily putting them in order, I think that Idaho in general is a little bit more family friendly than California. It wasn't always like that. I mean, I've lived in California my whole life. I grew up in California, born and raised, and it was a lot more friendly. I mean, we would walk around as kids and we would kind of knock on neighbors' doors and ask to play. We would kind of walk into people's houses pretty regularly, and the door would be unlocked. Stuff like that. That's stuff that has gone away in the last 15 to 20 years in California. And so raising my kids in California, I just really wanted them to experience what it was like for me growing up, to be able to have that kind of freedom and to feel that kind of safety and security. So the Treasure Valley in general is laid out in a grid pattern. So you have everything in a 1 mile block radius roughly. If you're in Meridian, if you're in Boise, Star, these for the most part, they're laid out more like a grid pattern. So when you're on a major road, it goes north, south, east, and west. And there's usually in your daily routine, there'll be maybe like 5 or 6 major roads that you kind of interact with on a daily basis. And it's very easy to understand where you are. If you get lost or you turn the wrong turn, you just say, oh, I'm going to take the next one, and it's a mile down, and it's turn left, and you go north again, and then you go left, and you go the other way, and you go back to where you came from. And so I think that's a really nice thing. It makes it very easy to get around. So that is definitely a plus, I think, to living here. Is the layout's very good, I think, of how you geographically have laid out the streets and the roads, and then the housing communities and such like that. So the next one is actually a very big one for me. So in California, if you've ever lived in California, or maybe even another state that you're coming from, California is extremely anti-Second Amendment, anti-gun rights. Even though it's legal to own guns, and I owned guns in California, it's definitely not a pro-Second Amendment state. I mean, I couldn't even get a concealed carry permit to carry a gun. It's very difficult to get one. And even if you did have one, I don't even know if you'd want to mess with it, to be honest. I mean, there's so many laws and rules. You might even be scared to even use the gun if you had to in a life-threatening situation. You might hesitate. And so I didn't even feel like I needed to get one or wanted to get one. So in Idaho, it seems that people are a little bit more friendly and a little bit more willing to help. We moved into a neighborhood, and I pulled up in the U-Haul truck to the house, opened the garage door, went into the garage. By the time I walked out, I had 3 separate neighbors walking up to me, putting their gardening and mechanics gloves on, and walking up the driveway and starting to try to help me unpack the U-Haul. I had never met these people before in my life. Leaving California, I had neighbors that I was extremely friendly with. We went to parties with them. We had dinner at their house. They walked into their house and didn't even want to give me a second look when we were packing up to leave. Didn't want to get roped into helping. Not that I was going to ask anyways, but it just shows the difference in the culture. I think the thought process here. Everybody wants to help people. Everybody wants to be neighborly. People want to have a sense of community. Another one that's a really big one, and this is a question that I get asked all the time: what is it cost-wise to live in Idaho? And I'm not talking about housing prices, because that fluctuates a lot and that goes up and down. I'm talking about the everyday costs, like maybe your electric bill, your gas bill for your house, your water bill. What does it cost to operate the life? Maybe your DMV stuff, your registration. So getting to like registration, for instance, it's much cheaper. California is extremely expensive if you've ever lived in California, and I'm sure a lot of other states are like that as well, especially more populated ones. So my truck, for instance, which is a 2019 Dodge Ram diesel, was around $900 to register. Here it was about $125 per year. And then our Honda Accord was about $400 to register in California, and it's about $60 to register here in Idaho. And some states are even less than that, actually. So, but I think that's amazing, having $60 a year registration. And they do it in 2-year blocks. So we paid $120 something, I think, for 2 years for our Accord. Electricity, I think we're paying 8 cents a kilowatt here. I think in Southern California, depending on where you are, you're anywhere between 15 cents and 40 cents, depending on if it's peak or off peak or summer rates or all this stuff. There is nothing like that out here in Idaho. It is summer, winter, morning, noon, night, evening. It's all the same rate. Nothing changes. It's all 8 cents per kilowatt where I live. Another huge thing for us is the outdoor activities here. I really had no idea how beautiful Idaho was before we moved here. We've had a chance to go and do a fraction of the things that you can do in Idaho as far as outdoor stuff. We have a UTV, side-by-side they call them, and we bought that so we could get up in the mountains and kind of see the trails and kind of go around, and we have not been disappointed. It is just amazing. We've been up to McCall area, we've been to Cascade, we've been out past Boise and gone into the mountains up there, into the lake areas. We've been to the low desert area, which is towards Oregon. And so we've been out lots of times this year, and just been pleasantly surprised. Just this breathtaking beauty of what it looks like out in Idaho. And again, we haven't even scratched the surface. There's so many beautiful places. Hopefully next year we can go see more of these places. But there's just endless amounts of activities. There's mountain biking. You can go. I think it's like the #1 mountain biking place in the whole country, rated that way at least. There's hiking, snowboarding, and skiing in the winter, and then there's all sorts of fun things to do. There's hot springs you can go to. There's about 170 some odd hot springs in Idaho that you can go visit that are free. Some of them are free, most of them are, unless they're on private land. And so it's just a great place to go bring the kids and kind of experience the outdoors. And it doesn't cost much. I mean, as long as you can drive there in your truck or your SUV, it's not going to cost you much at all. So something to consider. There's a lot of cool things to do if you like to get out and explore the outdoors and be out in the sun. Okay, so the weather in Idaho might be a negative to some people coming from like Southern California. To me, when I first thought about moving to Idaho, the weather was probably my number one thing, I'll be honest. I've only lived in California. We don't really have seasons in California. Our seasons are, we get into the 50s in the winter and we're like freezing, people in parkas and hoodies on and stuff. Here in Idaho, if it's in the 50s, you're in tank tops and shorts in the winter. That's just how it is. And I experienced that this winter. It's amazing, the perspective going from the 30s to the 50s. A beautiful day is in the 50s when the sun's shining. That being said, the reason I had this in my positive is because we've been to other places in Idaho, and we've been to other places like in Utah and other places that get even colder, Washington and such like that. I actually think that the weather here in the Treasure Valley specifically is a bonus. We know a lot of people that move from Washington to Idaho, to the Treasure Valley area, for the weather, because it is just miserable there almost every day. It's gray, it's cold, it's windy, it's whatever. Not to say those aren't beautiful places, but the weather itself, being able to see the sunshine and feel that sun on you is just an amazing feeling, and it really puts you in a better mood and gets you more energy. Another good thing is if you are a person who likes to go out and experience like a downtown atmosphere, you like to mingle with locals and you like to go to like shops and farmers markets and stuff, Boise might be the place for you. Even though I don't live in Boise, it's probably 25 minutes to 30 minutes depending on where it is in Boise. And they have music festivals a lot during the summertime and then the spring and the fall. They have winter festivals that go on. They have stuff that they have in the parks where you can go and hang out. They have hot air balloon festivals. They have just a lot of fun things that have to do with community. Okay, another thing I put in my positives is weather related, and it's the fact that we get 4 seasons here. And the reason why I mention that is because, again, we didn't really have seasons in California and Southern California. But even in Northern California, I mean, we had seasons, but it wasn't like this. So we have snowfall, which a lot of people are asking, how much snow do you guys get? Are you guys socked in? We weren't socked in at all this last year. We had some snow. I think we had a week of snow during Christmas where we had to shovel the driveways, still drive around just fine. And then we had like maybe 1 or 2 or 3 more days of snow after that, maybe a month later. Other than that, there was just snow piled up on the side of the road on your lawn and stuff. And once you shoveled it, it was fine. Okay, and the last thing on my list, which again should be probably more towards the top if you're putting in order, is ease of running and starting a business. I don't know if anybody watching this video is a business owner. I have no idea what your situation is, but just the fact that you're able to start a business and run a business in a more common sense approach fashion is a huge benefit to anybody, even if you're not thinking about running a business, if you're going to be an employee of a business or just interact with businesses. It's such a more pleasant experience to start a business, run a business, or interact with a business when there's less regulations and there's less things stopping the business from focusing on you, the customer. And so what I'm going to do now is kind of end the video with this. So if you have any questions or comments for me, go ahead and leave them in the comments section of the video. If you want to contact us through idahopulse.com, whether it be for real estate help, whether it be for just advice or help, feel free to contact us. I have no problem sitting and talking to people and kind of answering any questions you have. Maybe you know somebody who's moving to Idaho and they don't know who to talk to. Feel free to send them my way. I can talk to them as well and kind of give them the help they might need, kind of give them some advice, some pointers, that kind of thing. So thanks for joining us, and I really hope this video helped you out, and we really hope to talk to you or see you out in Idaho soon. And if you are going to make a move wherever it might be, best of luck to you. I hope it goes well, and I hope it's the right decision for you and your family. Thanks.